Elaine, let's to start with, why don't you, in your own words, just describe what you think of when you hear the word diabetes?
I think of it as an awful, incurable disease that affects a lot of people, and it's been around. Like my uncle who has diabetes said when I called him tried to get him to come here, it's been around here since the Egyptians. Why haven't they found the cure for it yet? And that's about it.
And diabetes has been in your family?
Yes, both my grandmothers were diabetic, and my father is oldest of 12 children, and the first 8 are not diabetic. The last 4 are insulin-dependent diabetics.
And that includes you?
No, I am diabetic, but I'm another generation. So,
I see.
Yeah, and I am well controlled with metformin and lactose.
And how long have you had diabetes?
I was probably first diagnosed in about 89, 90. And the doctor, we always have doctors coming through here that just comes long enough to satisfy their obligation to, work in a certain community, and then they move on. And so the doctor at the time insisted that I go on medication, and he put me on Glynace, and I wasn't ready for that. So I had to keep breaking it down, and then my blood sugar would go down to 25 and stuff. So then I took care of it for maybe 10 years with diet and exercise before I went back on medication.
And so you're pretty well controlled now?
Yes, my A1C runs about 6.2, and this morning I was 133, but that sometimes it's lower for fasting.
That's pretty good. What do you think the secret is that you've been able to keep it under control?
Well, it's diet and some exercise. But it's people think, so well, I can't eat sugar because I have diabetes, but any carbohydrate will turn to sugar once it's in the body. So it's watching total carbohydrate intake.
And do you go out and get exercise regularly, or how do you get your activity?
I walk, and in the winter when it's too cold to walk, I have 3 different levels in my house, so I have stairs, so I can run up and down the stairs and get my exercise that way, and I do a little bit of weight training and stuff like that.
And what helps you stay so disciplined?
Just, I don't know.
I mean, do you look forward to doing the activity, or is it just part of your...
Well, I look forward to the walking.
And where do you walk at when you...
Well, yesterday I walked up to my son's house and back home, and that wasn't very far, maybe. Total of 3/4 of a mile at the most.
Each way, or...?
No, a total.
Oh, right, total.
Total, yeah.
And where do you usually walk? Is that...
Well, I can just walk around the neighborhood, yeah. We do have a park in East Hill where we could walk. It's a nice little grassy park. We would like to get a paved walking path, but we haven't got it yet.
So you could walk up in the little town there?
Yeah, and we have a cemetery where lots of people walk, but it's too sad for me because I have to walk right by my mother's grave, and I have trouble walking in the cemetery. And it is paved, and it is a good walking place. But
and some people do use it.
Yeah, some people do, and I could easily walk from my house to the cemetery. It's the largest cemetery in Morgan County.
Oh, is that right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So, and you're purchasing your food, groceries. Do you do that all locally here, or do you?
Well, I get groceries and food here. Plus, we do grow a garden. Last evening, I had a dinner for my grandson's 19th birthday was yesterday, so I had 5 teenagers there. And
What'd you fix them?
we had roast beef and potatoes and onions cooked in the broth, green beans and cucumber salad, and zucchini from the garden, and biscuits, and then we had birthday cake, of course, which was ice cream cake from Dairy Queen. So I figure as long as you're going to have cake, you might as well have ice cream mixed in with it.
That's right. That's right. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think causes diabetes?
Well, for one thing, if a person has a pound too much weight, think of all the cells that have to have insulin in order to get their fuel to live.
Mm-hmm.
So every pound that a person has too much weight works the pancreas harder
Mm-hmm.
in order to make for the person to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I do think it's hereditary to a certain extent, because I have read that if 2 grandparents have it, then the grandchild has a really good chance of having it. And my brother and I both have diabetes. Neither of our parents had diabetes, but we had the 2 grandmothers.
Mm-hmm. And you've been pretty active and healthy most of your life.
No, not really.
No?
I don't know my health history. I had breast cancer. I got breast cancer when I was 35. I had stage 3 adenocarcinoma.
Mm.
And the doctor told my family there was absolutely no chance for me because I'd gone for a mammogram and had just a BB size
Mm-hmm.
area in April. Oh, there's nothing there. You're fine. You're fine. Mm-hmm. And so it was October before I got anything done, and then by then the tumor was that large, and I had 2 lymph nodes the size of hen eggs. So that's the reason the doctor was so sure I couldn't make it. And I'm here 25 years later. And then after that I got Lyme's disease in 88.
Uh-huh.
And so that has affected me greatly because the doctor said I'd be a total invalid from arthritis by the time I was 50. And I'm still going. And I'm 61. I turned 61 about 2 weeks ago.
And so you've really been able to defeat these things.
Yeah, I'm don't let them get me down.
Okay, so that's what I want to know. How do you do that? How do you not let them get you down?
Well, you just go on and live your life and so on. When I was on massive doses of chemo after my cancer diagnosis and mastectomy. And I worked every day except the days I had to go to Lexington for my chemo, except for one. And I wasn't able to take the medication to keep me from being sick because I was allergic to it. Mm-hmm. So, I was really sick sometimes, but I still worked during that because...
What did you tell yourself?
Gotta get up and go. My son was in middle school then, and, I had obligations and I needed to, of course, I worked for the state and I could have had sick time. People would have given me sick time. I could have taken off, but I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. And what did your family say during these times?
Well, they were really concerned, you know, and they said, "We're not going to let you go," you know. So that encouraged me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I just, it was just another obstacle to overcome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, but I give the Lord the credit.
So how has your faith enabled you to be a strong woman that you are?
Well, there's a big story on that, and every word is true. The Sunday after I got out of the hospital on Friday, I was standing, it was October, and it was a beautiful Sunday morning. I was standing in my back door in the sunshine, and I felt good. I felt really good. And I prayed, I said, "Dear Lord, I know you heal me. I know you're going to heal me. But I need a sign. I'm just a human, and I need a sign. Please give me something I can hold or something I can see to show me that you have healed me." And immediately it came to me, it was this Bible I got for taking the most people to Bible school when I was 4 years old. And I thought, well, I haven't seen that Bible in years. I got another one for going Sunday school the most when I was 10 years old. So I'd given that Bible to my brother. And I was going, I have no idea. What else could it be? You know, what's he telling me? And so I went to church that Sunday, to the church where my mother and father was going at the time. And after church, we were going to my grandmother's house because where she was insulin dependent. I always did her medication for her on Sunday for the whole week. So we were on our way we were getting in the car, getting ready to go there. And my niece, which was, I guess she was about 12, well, yeah, at the time, 13, something like that, was in the back seat. I looked back there. She had that Bible. And it was a miracle because she had never seen it before in her life. And probably at the very same time that I thought that was my sign, she had found that Bible and taken it, even though it was all, you can imagine after two little children and carried this Bible to church what kind of shape it was in. But she had taken it to church, and there it was, and opened it up, and it was Psalm 116 about how the Lord had saved me from death.
Mm-hmm.
That's right where it
sounds
opened
like
to.
that sounds like a miracle to me.
It was a miracle. And I've never had cancer since, and it's been 25 years.
Mm-hmm. That's a wonderful story.
Well, it's every word true.
So, when you think of risk factors for diabetes, particularly in the county, or in the area that you live here in Morgan County, what do you see as those factors?
I heard on the news last night that being overweight has tripled in young people in the last few years. It's doubled in adults and it's tripled in young people. And our county is no exception. And like I said before, every pound increases the work on the pancreas to produce the insulin so that all the cells can have fuel. And I think that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And plus they're not getting out and exercising now. They're not going out to play. Instead they're sitting there addicted to video games and watching TV and movies on TV and whatever, instead of playing like children used to play. I mean, we were always out playing. I was jumping rope every day, and I want people to jump rope like I did. It was so much fun, but I'm having trouble convincing people, young people.
Yeah, have to work on that, don't we?
Yeah,
finding ways. I think sometimes children may not know the fun associated with some activities. It
Right.
looked like work.
Yeah.
What do you think your friends and neighbors and people that you know, how can they help you or someone that has diabetes?
I don't really know.
Or do you think there are things that they can do to help prevent diabetes?
Oh yeah, we're trying to get parks developed in each one of our magisterial districts in order that people can go there and safely exercise, because we have such curvy roads, and so we're trying to get more people interested in doing that and write grants to get the funds and so on like that. And we need to educate the people, the parents especially, more, and get families out moving together, enjoying all the beautiful surroundings and having family fun again.
How do you think we can do that?
Well, develop the parks, make them more family friendly, put things in there that they would enjoy, educate them on the importance of eating right and exercising.
Is there, some people I've talked with we've discussed the idea of thinking about ways to involve churches. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yes, when I did my surveys, I did some at some churches, and the youth leader at my church is wanting to, we have a giant paved parking lot. She's wanting to have some kind of walking competition and stuff for the youth there already. And there's all kinds of different things we could do through the churches, and that would be a good avenue. I talked to Brent Davis. He's a healthcare provider at Faith Family Care. I think he's a physician assistant. But anyway, he was youth leader in his church, and he had a walking club and so on in the church. And we used to have basketball teams that competed from the churches, baseball teams, and a lot more activities between the churches where we had competitions, and people would get exercise and fun that way. But we don't have that so much now. We did when my boys were teenagers, but not now.
So it's a tradition from the past that people did enjoy at one time.
Yes, they did.
Why do you think they quit?
Video games. As soon as Atari came out, exercise started slacking off. In the 80s. I mean, it's been going downhill since then. I think video games is the primary culprit.
Are there things that you think the schools could do different to help the children?
Yes. Well, always in the high school here, we have 1 year when we have exercise. That's when you're sophomore. It was that way when I was here in high school, and it's still that way. That's the 1 year of exercise, but they do have lots and lots of different sports teams. Anything you can name practically except swimming, where we only have seasonal swimming here. We probably have here. And it starts with the young people. We have all kinds of youth leagues for basketball and football, and I mean they do pretty well. And soccer and all of those things.
Do you think, how do we get the families involved so that it's a family activity?
That's my goal. I'm not quite sure. I thought that I could do it. Last week we had the mural unveiling at Candle City at the park, and so I tried to Facebook all the families on my friends and tell them to come out and play with frisbees and so on, do activities in the park. And it failed, it didn't go through, something about, I think it was because I was on my son's computer at the time. I don't know, but it didn't go through, so that failed. But, you know, maybe we could do activities like that and get families out to, you know, because social media is a big thing, and maybe if we could do that, it would help.
You're not giving up, though, huh?
No, I'm not giving up.
Good. If you could make any single change in the county to improve people's health, what might that be?
Get families out exercising more. That's my goal. That's my primary goal. Create places where they want to exercise. And that will have to be different in all the areas of the county, because people can't afford the gas to come to West Liberty. There's all kinds of opportunities for whole families to exercise in West Liberty. But, you know, you can't come all the way from the far end of the county to West Liberty just to do that. So,
okay, anything that I didn't ask you that you want to just add to this?
no, I don't think so.
Okay. I think that, you know, you really identified some good ideas and confirmed some things that other people have said as well. One last thing I want to ask you is the importance of telling the story, or word of mouth. How important? And if we looked at the media versus word of mouth and getting messages out, what would you say is the best way?
The word of mouth. That is really important here, because people stay within their families a lot. So if you can teach one family member, then it will pass on to a lot of people probably.